Howdy, y'all. I can't sleep because I had a kind of a rough evening tonight, and I think that I have to just get it out of my system so that I can sleep. I don't know if I'll post this, but probably. So yeah, what had I had? Sorry for the CC pause, but the day that I have been dreading has finally arrived. The day is so I've been fairly open about who I am and where I work and so forth and so on. Kind of the anti-doxer, or I just completely dox myself all the time. So like I said, I've been very open for it. So people can Google me or do whatever the hell I want. But I realize that the downside of that, and I think the reason why a lot of people don't do what I do or have done, is people can Google me and find things about me that I don't want to hear, I guess. So the thing in particular is, so there is for professors, there is essentially a Yelp reviewer. It's in the States. I don't know if it's anywhere else. It's called Rate My Professor. And I have avoided this website like the plague because I realize that I have some serious defects when it comes to lecturing. Or at least defects in terms of running my class. The classes tend to be chaotic. I miss deadlines. I don't post things when I say I'm going to post them. I don't correct grades. Basically, whenever I tell the students that I'm going to do something at a certain time, I very rarely actually get that accomplished. So from that angle, I knew that I had a pretty, I was pretty significant failing, and I really didn't want to look into just how bad that failing was, or just how large that failing was. But that was brought to my attention tonight. I was on a Flat Earth server, basically try thinking or whatever it is. So a new batch of Flat Earther, more prominent, as it were. The other Discord that I'm on with Flat Earth is really, they're just followers, as it were. None of them have provided any sort of new or challenging information. That's really just regurgitation of, hello kitty, regurgitation of what I've heard before. Sorry, there's a new trend among Flat Earth that I find interesting, but that's beside the point. What I'm trying to say. So I'm on this new Discord, and the reason why I'm on it, I'm on this new Discord, and I hop on to a live stream with these folks. And the reason why I do so is because I was just kind of checking out the live stream as I was eating lunch, and they started talking about JWST, and they seemed to be under the impression that JWST had gotten a catastrophic failure and that it was no longer usable and so forth. And so I felt sort of called to correct them on that, or basically, correct them on that. And so I got on this thing. I eventually figured out a way to get on to the live stream, and I corrected them, and they had questions for me, and I answered them as truthfully and as best as I could. But apparently that really irritated at least one of the Flat Earthers, and because I brought up that I'm a professor, and the guy, this wasn't actually in voice. This is actually in text. I can't remember how he started, but he basically said, "I bet your students really don't like you, or you're not very good at your job, or whatever. I was like, you can Google that. You can Google rate my professor if that's what you want to do. And that's exactly what he did. And then he posted my basically Yelp review stats on it. And they're not, shall we say, positive. I do have a few positive votes, but majority of my evaluations are negative. And actually, if you type in Rob Parks rate my professor, the first link is the link to it, and the sort of blurb of it states that Rob Parks is the most undisciplined professor I've ever had! Exclamation point. This dude also managed to screen cap the beginning of one of my YouTube shorts. I don't know why he chose that one in particular, but he posted it with the assertion that I looked like an idiot or ugly or something of that nature. I was like, okay, that I didn't really have a problem with because it was just kind of out of the blue, but the rate my professor thing really kind of stung. Because I care very deeply about my teaching, and I care very deeply about providing a fun and educational experience for my students. And I really beat myself up over when I don't do what I say I'm going to do. And I don't stick deadlines. I can't stick to a class schedule, and it bothers me when that happens. And a good bit of it is I don't manage my depression very well, or I don't battle the imposter syndrome or the anxiety very well, and so I shut down and I don't make the deadlines that I need to. But I'm very passionate about, or it means a great deal to me. My work means a great deal to me. And the fact that my students don't seem to think that I'm very good at it, that hit home. That stung. More than stung. Another contributing factor to this is the way I was raised, and I think this is fairly common within the United States. I don't know about other places, but self-worth is very much tied to how well of a functional member of society you are. Can you produce anything? Can you produce anything of quality? And these are what determine your worth. And I have internalized the shit out of that. So the entirety of my worth is put into goes into sort of this idea of what kind of contributions can I make, or what kind of contributions am I making to society, and am I any good at it? And so whenever I'm confronted with the reality that I am not good at it, or mediocre at it, or I don't reach the level that I would like to reach, it well, I won't say it nullifies my self-worth, but it basically I have very poor self-worth because of that. And I try to distract myself. I promise this is not a pity party. I do have a destination I'd like to get to, but I try to distract myself by being involved in other live streams and just kind of trying to be as social as I possibly could. I reached out to a couple of friends just to, because I knew I was spiraling. I knew I was going into a dark place, and so I reached out to a couple folks, but they had things of their own to deal with, and so I certainly wasn't going to put my shit onto them. So I was stuck. I continued to spiral, and after the last live stream, I nearly broke down completely. I got to a very dark place, and I was thinking to myself, I was ruminating, just constantly going through my mind of alternating between why do I even fucking bother at this? I'm not very good at it. Basically wasting people's time, yada yada. And then the flip side to it is, am I going to lose my job over this? Am I going to lose the one real tangible thing I have in my life, positive thing I have in my life? Am I going to lose it? And in both cases, the conclusion I had was, if that's the case, then why the fuck am I even here? And in the past, I would have gone to a very, very dark place. I even, actually tonight, I actually thought about committing myself, and then I realized, no, I don't hate myself that much. But where I'm going with this is that I managed to pull myself out of it to a certain extent. I knew that I'm teaching a course this summer. It's a asynchronous course, meaning that we don't meet even virtually, but I need to provide them with material, lectures, homework or assignments, and that sort of thing. And I have not been overly on top of that, particularly in the lecture arena. They have lecture slides, they have a textbook, and I've been they essentially have free reign of the internet, really, to pull the answers for quizzes and such. That's not an excuse for not doing the lectures, certainly not an excuse. But in my head, I've used that as an excuse not to do the lectures, because doing lectures is very, very hard. I wouldn't say it terrifies me, but it scares the fuck out of me. What if I say something wrong? What if I don't know what I'm talking, or don't feel like I know what I'm talking about? And just imposter syndrome. I just think that I'm not up to the responsibility of teaching anybody anything. And so it's very hard for me every time I get up, or try to get up in front of a class to lecture or make a video about that. It's very difficult for me because of that anxiety. And but hey, that's my lot in life. I crossed the bear, as it were. It's what I've chosen to do, and I've got to figure out a way to get past that, or through it, or what have you. Kind of like stage fright. Hey, musicians and actors can do it. Why can't I? So, and I do apologize for the sound. I don't know. This is my OBS at home, and so I don't know what the sound is going to look like or sound like until, if it's too quiet or whatever. All right, I'm just babbling. But I got back to my office, and I was late on a lecture, and I was like, I need to get that lecture out. I need to get that lecture done. And it really wasn't a good place to do it, but I did it anyway. And so I posted my 4th lecture. I don't know if it's any good. Hope it is. I don't know. It's on the galaxies, something I know fairly well. Not too in depth, but I managed to do it, and I was happy that I was able to do it. The point that I'm rambling on to is a friend of mine on Discord basically told me that, I've heard this before, but take that negative feedback and build from it. And there's also the sort of cliche of things of it's not a failing if you fail, it's a failing if you don't pick yourself up and learn from it or try to improve from it. And that was what was going through my mind when I managed to do the lecture was, let's, instead of wallowing, instead of shutting down and such, let me put something on paper. Let me may not be great. It may suck complete ass, but at least it's out there, and it's something that I can improve on later. And so, because putting out shit is better than not putting out anything at all, so I figured I might as well just put it out there and see what happens. And I felt that was the mature thing to do. Now I feel like I'm patting myself on the back. I don't know if anyone out there actually suffers or experiences anything like that, but I just wanted to say that I think there's some value to it. It's hokey as shit, but or at least I feel it is. But I was able to use it and move forward. Hopefully, I can use it enough to actually get some sleep tonight. But the idea of, I've screwed up. And I really hope that it's not irreparable. And I really need to take the responsibility, buck up, as it were. Take the responsibility that I have I've not done everything that I can to make good lectures, to be a good professor, and actually start working on how I can be. I think that right now my focus is all over the place, and it's not where it needs to be, which is on these lectures and getting these classes where I want them to be. Mainly because, again, it goes back to worth, and I feel that if I only do the lectures, if I only make the classes, and do nothing else, then I'm still worthless, because I'm not contributing enough. I'm not being an activist enough for the things that I care about. I'm not producing educational content besides the lectures that might be of use or to folks if they ever find it and want to watch it. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of this pressure to be good at lots of things related to my field, and problem I've encountered is my focus is pretty much on trying to get as much things out there and done and try to do various various different projects, that I don't seem to concentrate on any one particular project very well. Um, I think part of that also is this anxiety that I feel about doing things for the first time, or doing things like making lectures, or really buckling down and actually doing the work, particularly the tedious parts of my job. Um, I just get filled with anxiety of a variety of different sorts. But then I'll basically stop. And one of the advantages of having all of these different projects or these different things in mind is that I can switch over and do something new, and the excitement of doing something new sometimes overrides, or is more powerful than the anxiety or the fear, and so it gives me the illusion that I'm productive in some way. Um, but in actuality, I get very little done, and what little I do is kind of half-assed and not my best work, and it's unfair to my students for that, and so um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where. And now I'm starting to really ramble about it. I just need to get this out, and the reason why I'm probably going to post it is because I don't know if anyone else out there feels that pressure of defining oneself by one's productivity, by one's the idea that your worth is external, that there are external forces which define your worth rather than having an intrinsic worth. That's where I'd like to be, but I don't really know how to get there. I don't know how to love myself for the sake of doing it, I guess. It's really hard for me to explain without external validation or what have you. So talking about it, I maybe someone else can relate, and maybe it helps them in some way. I don't know, but I also wanted to relate kind of the victory that I had tonight, because, like I said, I was not in a great place, and I managed to pull myself out of it, and I managed to be productive about it, and I am hopeful that this time, unlike many other times, this time I can actually. This isn't hypomania. This isn't just a byproduct of my disease. This is actually, growth, and I can hold on to the idea that, it is better to try and fail than it is to not try at all, and just push through it, concentrate, focus in on really what is most vital, and what I feel is the highest priority in my job, and make that as good as I can. And once I can do that consistently, then I will be able to branch out and do the science communication and advocacy that I would like to do. And if anyone else out there that kind of feels the same way, then I guess that would be my advice. I hate giving advice. My advice to folks is to do that. Is to just concentrate on one thing and do it well, rather than try to make yourself more grandiose, I guess, or more important by doing a whole lot of swamping yourself with a whole bunch of stuff that you're not going to be able to do well, and That's not going to be helpful to you, and it's certainly not going to be helpful to anyone else. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't like the fact that I have this stigma I have this schema in my head, fancy word that I learned throughout therapy and so forth. This worldview that my worth is only based on my work product. Very Calvinist, very American. Like I said, I don't know about other countries, but I think that that is one of the defining traits of being an American is having success is based on worth, or success is based on what you can do, what you can accomplish, what you have done for other people, things of that nature. And I don't like it. I think it sucks. I might like it if I were kinder to myself, but, you know, I'm not. So I really don't like it. And this also has reinstilled that I need to figure out to make parts of my life that are, right now my life is my work, or my work is my life, and I need to rectify that. I need to open up and have more of a social life with people, around me in person, more physical activity, more creative endeavors, that sort of thing. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's about it. If I do post this and people watch this at the end, thank you for listening to me babble or shout into the void. I hope you all are well. Peace out, and you'll see me around on the internets soon.